and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be doing a reading challenge. I've done a couple of reading challenges in the past, and by a couple I mean one challenge multiple times. I did swapping my screen time for reading time twice as of now, but today I'm going to be doing a reading challenge that I've never done before, and it's kind of similar, but not really. I'm going to be doing a 24-hour reading marathon, or a 24-hour readathon. So I honestly don't know how many books I'm gonna be able to read in 24 hours. I guess it'll all depend on how quickly I read the book, you know, how much I enjoy the book. I do have a couple of books kind of set out that I am going to read or going to start with, and then once I hopefully get through all of those, if I still have time, I will kind of just pick books off my shelf and go from there. Since it is October, I did want to do a couple more kind of scary books, I guess, though right now I'm actually reading a romance novel because the first two books that I read in October were more like scary horror, like psychological horror, so I needed a break. The book that I am currently reading is The Deal by L. Kennedy, and I'm really close to being done with it, so I think I'm just gonna finish it up today. I really don't think that'll take much longer. And then the next book that I have on my, like, TBR, if you will, for this video is Layla by Colleen Hoover. I've had this book for like several years, but just never got around to reading it. I actually bought this book because a YouTuber that I really like recommended it, Ava Jules. Again, it was several years ago, so I don't know if you'd be able to find the clip. But apparently it's kind of like a horror-esque, maybe psychological horror, thriller kind of deal. So I thought that would be kind of fitting for October. And then the last book that I have picked out already is The Final Girl Support Group. I literally bought this book less than 24 hours ago because I saw it in a Target the other day and was like, oh, that looks really interesting. I read the back. Oh, that looks really interesting. And then for some reason, I didn't buy it. And then I went to go check that Target and they were sold out. And I went to go check another Target and they were sold out there. And I went to check another Target and they were sold out there. So I was like losing my mind because now all I could think about was how this book was like just out of reach. I did end up getting it at Barnes & Noble because I'm just so desperate to see if this is good. I'm really hoping it is because of all the trouble I've gone through so far to get to it. But again, I am just going to start by finishing up The Deal, and then I will move on to the next book. It is currently almost 4 o'clock already, so I'm not sure how far into the night I'm going to be reading. I will kind of give updates as I go along, but I did also promise my coworkers that I would start watching Agatha All Along, so I will be taking a brief intermission to catch up on all those episodes either tonight or tomorrow because I don't have work. But either way, I hope to read a lot, and I do really hope to, be able to reach the end goal of 24 total hours. I don't really think there's much else to explain, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the reading now. So I was about 85% done with the book when I started reading the ending, and it took me 42 minutes to read 15% of that book, which is kind of insane to admit out loud. If I'm being totally honest, I did not love this book. I thought the plot was kind of all over the place at times, and in total honesty, didn't love the characters. Like, very much, if at all. I have just seen so much good stuff about this series that I'm kind of confused, honestly. I am gonna read at least the next book in the series to see if it does get better, like writing-wise and character development-wise. But now, I'm not gonna be going into the second book very hopeful. I'm gonna go in with low expectations. So that being said, I am officially done with this book, so I can start on the next book. Before I do that though, I have to take out the trash, and I am probably just gonna go ahead and make some dinner as well. But I do hope to continue reading tonight, even if it's a little bit later and it's darker outside. But I guess I will get back to you when I pick up my next book. Alright, so I admittedly took longer than I was expecting to make dinner, and that is because I got distracted on my phone. That's just the truth. I totally got distracted. I started watching YouTube. I was scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. You know the gist. But I'm back now. It is currently 6:30, and I am going to dive into Layla by Colleen Hoover. And total transparency, it's already getting dark outside because it's kind of cloudy, and it's like the sun is setting soon anyway. And from what I understand, this one's a little like creepy, kind of more like one of Colleen Hoover's thriller type books. So I honestly don't know how much of this I'll be reading tonight, because I am definitely the kind of person that prefers to read like scary stuff or watch scary stuff in broad daylight as opposed to at night, just because it makes me feel safer. So again, I'm not sure how much of this I'll actually end up reading, but I'm going to at least start it tonight. You know, now that I've officially started this challenge, I'm honestly not really sure I'll be able to actually fulfill the 24-hour thing, but I'm gonna try really, really, really hard. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking and rambling and wasting my time and get back into reading. Okay, so I literally did not plan on this at all, but I just finished this book in almost 3.5 hours, and it was really good. Honestly, it was really good. I'm like at a loss for words, because usually when you hear people talking about like Colleen Hoover's books and her writing, it's like, she's not a great writer, like her writing is kind of cringy, but this was such a good book. If you saw my September reading recap and October TBR video, then you know that I kind of knew the plot of this book going into it, or like I had part of it spoiled, but I did not remember the plot twist at the end. Oh my gosh. I also think that's the fastest I've literally ever read a book. I like have no words. This was actually really good. I'm definitely gonna have to text my cousin about this book. Well, it's late into the night, and by late into the night I mean like 10 o'clock. But I'm going to stop my reading for tonight right here. And I am going to take a shower, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. I will definitely continue reading tomorrow. I'm very excited to read my next book. But yeah, that's all the reading I'm gonna do for tonight, so I guess I will see you tomorrow. Alright, it is now the next day, and I am just about ready to dive into my next book, which is, again, The Final Girl Support Group. I'm so excited because the concept of this is so interesting to me. And again, it's October, so obviously want to do some like thriller, mystery, horror books. I mean, I don't even really know if there's much else to say. I'm just very excited to start reading this. I might not stay in this exact spot for the entirety of this book. I might kind of wander around as I read. I know that I still have to feed my dog breakfast, so I might like do a couple of like simple things while I'm reading as well. But for the most part, all of my attention will be on reading for basically this entire day if I can help it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump on into this book. 5 hours since I started reading the final girl support group, and I just finished, and it was really good. I mean, I kind of went in expecting that I would enjoy it and like actually like the plot, but it was really good. My time overall is currently just under 9 hours, so I am going to continue on reading. I took a quick 45-minute break. I've been scrolling on Instagram for a little bit, watched a YouTube video, but now I'm ready to go back to reading words. And the next book that I have picked out is a Karen M. McManus book, and I actually just read another one of her books last month, so I wanted to pick up another one, and this one is called Nothing More to Tell. It is also a mystery book. I think it'll be a little more relaxed than this one because the characters in this book are all like adults, and from what I understand, the characters in this book are all like high schoolers. I almost picked out a different book, which was a romance book, but then I decided that if I'm going to be reading another kind of mystery novel, I would rather do that in the light of day and then read a romance novel when it's darker outside. But enough yapping. I am going to get back to reading. I might make some food while I'm at it. I might order some food depending on what I end up wanting to do. But I am just about to jump back in. So I will be back with another update soon. Oh my god, that's a joke. Oh my god, that's a joke. Oh my god, no, that's actually a joke. Oh my god. Oh my god, no, that's a joke. Oh. Oh my god. 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 Please tell me this is a sick joke. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. Am I supposed to just go back to like living my life after that? All right, it is currently just a little bit before 9:45 at night, and I just finished Nothing More to Tell. And it was also really good. I did not end up finishing it before the sunset like I thought I was going to initially. But it was still amazing, and kind of like I thought going into it at the beginning, it wasn't as scary as the last one. So I didn't feel as uneasy as I normally might reading this kind of book at night when it's dark outside, which was nice, you know? This one took me a little longer to get into, and admittedly, I stopped a couple of times and just was like doing literally anything else instead of reading. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the audiobook on Spotify and listen to it as I read along. And I think that helped a lot with my motivation to read it. I actually even at one point put down my book altogether, got in my car because I had to go somewhere and get something, and was just listening to the book the entire time instead of listening to music, which was kind of fun. I honestly was like kind of shocked at how good this book was. I mean, not shocked because I thought it was going to be bad or anything, but I don't know. I just think this is one of Karen McManus's more fleshed out storylines, I guess, which is kind of insane to say because she did end it on a cliffhanger, which is something I'm noticing with most of her standalone books, is that she kind of leaves on or not even necessarily, well, yeah, no, a cliffhanger, but I guess not necessarily a cliffhanger, just like an open end, I guess. But for this one and for the other one that I read recently, it's called You'll Be the Death of Me. It also had an open ending, kind of. So while I do enjoy that because it does leave the potential for a second book, I'm also kind of like, just close the chapter and we can circle back around, you know what I mean? Honestly, other than that, I don't really have many critiques for this book. I thought it was really good, but I think this is definitely one of her best stories for sure. That being said, I'm still contemplating what exactly to rate it on Goodreads. Just because like I have lots of thoughts floating around in my head and I just finished it. So I'm still trying to like gather everything that I'm thinking and give it like a good review because it was definitely a good book, but you know, it took me a lot longer to read this book than I kind of originally expected it to. I started it like almost directly after finishing the final girl support group, and I think I should have taken a bit more of a break in between books because I was sitting here on my couch and I kept almost falling asleep or just fully falling asleep for like 10 minutes while I was in the first like bit of this book. And not because it was a bad book or that it was like super slow in the beginning, but just because I was really tired, I guess. I ended up reading this book for nearly 6 hours, which is the longest amount it's taken me to read a book this entire video. But again, I was really sleepy, I guess, and was kind of dozing off in the middle of reading, so that's probably part of it. I don't really have the willpower to like take out the time that I might have been asleep, so I'm kind of just gonna let it slide because I don't think I slept for more than like 20 minutes total while the timer was running, so I don't think it'll affect the time that much. But I'm currently trying to decide if I should take a break in between this book and the next book I'm planning on reading, or if I should just dive straight in, because if I'm being totally honest, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do a full 24-hour readathon because I just kind of have not even really a stacked schedule, just like I have work both Thursday and Friday and Saturday. I also have plans on Thursday, have to get chores done on Friday, and Saturdays are usually a little more busy around my house. So I honestly have no idea if I'm even going to be able to complete the 24-hour readathon, which kind of sucks because I was really hoping that I would be able to kind of just crush it on the first try, but that did not in fact happen. Maybe if I had started a day earlier, I could have made it work. But who knows, you know, I might be able to squeeze in some more reading time, a total of nearly 9 hours more reading time. I'm not sure though. Obviously, I'm gonna try my hardest to fully complete the challenge because I am incredibly stubborn and a very sore loser. I want to complete the challenge because it's honestly felt really good to like read so much these past couple of days. I just need to pace myself because if I continue to read when I'm not motivated to read, then I'm gonna end this whole reading marathon in a reading slump. I had mentioned earlier today that I was thinking about taking a break at some point in time to watch Agatha All Along because I promised my coworkers that I would before I saw them again. And I see one of them tomorrow. So I can either go into work tomorrow and say that I didn't watch it again after I promised that I would, or I can watch it and just pick up my reading tomorrow, but then possibly not complete the challenge, which sucks, but I don't know. I feel like if I keep trying to read, I'm just gonna fall asleep in my bed within 30 minutes, and then the timer will run, and then it'll all get screwed up, and I don't want that to happen, obviously. And I do really want to watch Agatha All Along. I just haven't been like motivated to watch it for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe once I start it'll be fun and I'll be invested, but I'm just kind of dancing on the line of being like, oh, it looks like a really cool show, and like really not interested. I don't know. I think I am gonna go ahead and start the show tonight, and if I end up picking up a book again, I'll let you know. Okay, it is now the next day and I am feeling much more energized. I got home from work a little bit ago. I changed into some different clothes because I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to be hanging out with a friend in a couple of hours today. But I wanted to get some reading in first, obviously. So I am going to be reading The Sun is Also a Star. I read this author's other book, Everything, Everything, a couple of years back and fell absolutely in love with it. I don't know if it was like just the storyline or the characters. Again, it's been a while, but I also am obsessed with the cover of this book, so if nothing else, it'll look cute on my shelves. But I am very hopeful that this will be like an actually enjoyable plot and that I'll like reading it. I currently only have like a couple of hours, maybe now more so like an hour and a half before I need to leave to meet up with my friend. But that still gives me, you know, some time to get in for reading, so I am just gonna jump into it and then I'll give you a quick update before I leave. Alright, so I am about to head out to meet up with my friend, but according to Goodreads, I am 45% done with this book. And my timer is now stopped at a total of 17 hours and 14 minutes because I just read almost 2.5 hours straight for this book. It's been really good so far. Honestly, not what I was expecting, even though it literally tells me the plot on the back of the book. It's really good so far and I really enjoy it. And unfortunately, I'm actively leaving on a cliffhanger, which is not ideal, but you know, there are worse things. I am actually running a little bit behind and I don't want to hold up my friend anymore, so I am going to make this super brief and maybe I'll talk about it more once I get home, or I'll read more once I get home, but I will definitely continue reading tomorrow, so at the very least I will see you then. Alright, so it is now the day that I am going to be uploading this video, so I unfortunately am ending the challenge here, and that unfortunately does mean that I did not complete the 24 hours of reading. I was able to read 16 more minutes the other day before I went into work, but that has me at a total of 17 hours and 31 minutes. I'm still only about halfway through The Sun is Also a Star, but I'm honestly super impressed with the amount of books that I was able to even read in the 17 and a half hours that I did. Actually, let me go grab them so we can have a visualization of just how much I read. So I started off this video with just the very end of The Deal by L. Kennedy, but then I proceeded to read 3.5 more books, which for me is very impressive, seeing as I usually only read 4 to 5 books in a month, and it's only the first half of the month right now, so I still have plenty of time to read even more. Obviously, I am a little bit disappointed that I wasn't able to complete the full 24 hours, but also it was my first attempt, so I kind of went in with low expectations, tried not to stress myself out on actually getting 24 hours, and I can always try again later. But again, like I said, I am recording this outro the day that I am going to upload this video, and as of right now, I have over an hour and a half of footage that needs to be edited down to not that long, so I need to get to that. So that is going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!